It's Midwest Ghost Hunters Dark Matter Podcast. We're at Pythian Castle in Springfield, Missouri.
If you're listening on whatever podcast platform you're listening on, please like, comment, share. If you've got any paranormal activity, you can always let us know about it at mwghosthunters.com.
We're supposed to have a guest in here today, and I don't know if something came up. Who knows?
It's ironic.
Things come up. I know where you're going. What, we got ghosted?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure something came up. Things come up, when you're dealing with real human beings all the time. So, I don't know. What we were going to do is we're going to have, I'm not going to say her name yet. I was going to let her, give her, permission to do that in person. We were going to have the owner of the home that we're investigating coming up here real soon on the podcast to kind of run down some of her claims that she's going through. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and roll on anyway because our show must go on. I was watching this YouTube video. I don't know. I can't remember what like a physicist or something. I can't remember what he was. He was a professor of some kind, and he was doing an interview up on a stage. And the whole point of his interview was to talk about how he's discovered that ghosts aren't real. Every piece of paranormal evidence that has been presented to him can be explained, which I don't understand. Can be explained by either matrixing of the ears or eyes, or it's the human brain. He's something to do with neurology or something.
A lot of it can be explained.
A lot of it can, yeah.
I used to think that same thing. It's a very logical thing to think, in my opinion.
Well, and I think that's good to always come in and debunk things, but I will tell you that the very first time you get run out of a house, until I started hanging out with these guys here, I had no idea that I would believe things that I believe in.
Well, it's easy to stand up on a stage and say, these things
that's what I was going to say, is this guy didn't go out and try to experience it himself. And yeah, there's a lot of EVPs, that pop up where it's like, that might be clothing rubbing against each other. That might be.
Even we have experienced, or I think it was last time we were up here, where I had interference in my headphones, 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah, that kind of stuff can happen. There's no way to explain when we hear a response to a question with our ears.
Look, I'd love to see that guy with us that one night, or really any night that we've caught good stuff. But the one that jumps out to me anytime we talk about this is when I heard that child in the closet.
Yeah.
Right.
Because, it was so clearly right behind that door, and then you open the door and nothing's there.
I applaud people for always debunking things. I think that's good. I think that on the bad side of the paranormal world are the guys that run out and assume everything is a ghost. I'm going to also come back in on the other side and say, hey, look, I've seen things with these guys here that I myself would not have ever bought into. Explain to me how I saw a guy at Tap House walking in front of Dustin that
a guy with
was
hair.
Not there. Yes. Yeah, and I saw that. I saw it.
Hey, remember he's like, hey, is there like a guy like with hair?
Oh, that's a really funny. That's a really funny reaction clip.
That's really good.
You were trying really hard to get it out.
I was trying to explain to Dustin what I saw, and he's comes in. He's like, no, man.
Well, in this video that I watched, this guy also picked apart a lot of the paranormal equipment, a lot of the same equipment that we ourselves have picked apart. People misunderstand. Yes, when we use an EMF detector, sometimes we'll set it on the bed and say, hey, can you make this thing beep? Do we think that that doesn't make that a scientific necessarily piece of equipment? The way we really use an EMF detector on our investigations is to go through and check for the fucking EMF levels to make sure they're not too high.
Yeah, it's like criticizing someone for using a thermometer to tell the temperature.
So yeah, we use that really as a tool to determine, is it possible that there's a high enough amount of EMF in this home or business or whatever to cause the person living here to have, these hallucinations or tactile feelings or whatever.
A lady I work with came over this last week, and she said, oh my God, I found out that you have a ghost podcast. And I'm like, oh no. That's the first thing I thought is oh no. Because I just knew that she was going to lop us into the category of a lot of paranormal investigators. And finally, when we got all the way through the whole thing, she's like, oh, that's super cool. So you guys actually will come out and prove a lot of times that it's not. And I said, well, we'll try to prove it's not. We'll try really just to document, can we document the claims that these people are alleging? One way or the other.
That's really that's really our purpose, is to come out and try to experience, what you did. That's what we did at Kat and Erica's house. Yeah. We went to their house We wanted to experience, what are the claims you've made in this bedroom? So we wanted to try to, set up the conditions similar so that we could experience those same things. And in that particular case, it was successful because we did experience a lot of the same things that they experienced in the house, when they were there by themselves.
And I think that it's great if you don't believe in paranormal activity at all. You know what? I used to be you. So I'm not going to knock you down at all.
I don't judge people for that at all.
But I will tell you that if you have gone out and you've seen some of the things I've seen, you've been in the situations I'm in, those are not things that you can just absolutely dismiss unless you're just going to ignore it.
I don't want some pencil neck sitting up on a stage, though, who's never been in a home, with significant paranormal activity, telling us that the stuff that we've experienced, all, sometimes 6 of us at the same time, is all in our heads.
How did Dustin and I both see the exact same thing down there? Neither one of us are running in there wanting to see ghosts. Neither one of us are. What I would encourage this professor, I'm assuming it's some sort of a professor, to do, go in, take his university in, and do the studies in these places. Go to these places that are haunted and see if you can get those things to occur. And then if you can you debunk them away? I think that's great.
We never judge people who are skeptical ever of paranormal activity because we've all, at least everybody at this table, has been there.
I can't judge him for saying it makes no sense because I've sat in my room with the lights on telling myself it makes no sense.
No, I know. And I understand that he, works in the realm of, I don't know what it was, neuroscience or something like that. And it doesn't fit in with the shit that he learned. I get that.
But that's the thing about science, though, is that it
evolves.
Science 50 years from now is not going to fit in with our science today.
Correct.
Like, I'm convinced.
I mean, they're still toggling whether a motherfucking T-Rex has feathers.
I'm convinced that in 100 years, there might be some more of a solid foundation for explanation.
Maybe.
For this.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't think there will, because I think that
I'm worried
to do
there
that,
won't, but yeah.
To do that, you've got to be willing to study it. And it's got to be people like my brother who makes a living actually going out and doing studies in the field, has done a lot of great scientific research on, birds and things like that.
He's an aviation physiologist.
He does really good,
That's what
good
he is.
work. I mean, he does great job. But if you come in and you try to get him to study this, he's not even going to entertain that idea. And a lot of that is because he knows that if he does that, his research dollars are going to be in danger.
You don't really have to go in studying ghosts. I think that we're inadvertently already studying it. If you look at like quantum mechanics and like what we've found out about that shit's that's more unexplainable than ghosts.
I think indirectly that does approach the subject a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. In 100 years, I think that's just going to keep evolving. I honestly believe that all of this is explainable. I truly believe that.
You mean explainable meaning it's not, well, I can't say it's not paranormal. That's just a word we attach to it. You mean explainable meaning it's what? What do you mean?
In the realm of science.
It can be explained by science. Okay, gotcha.
Like it won't be paranormal in the future.
Maybe we'll get there. I have no idea. I tend to...
Now, it might take hundreds of years.
I don't think it will, because I think what's going to do it is I think that researchers themselves will shun away from it just because they don't want to be labeled as that guy.
Well, again, like they're not gonna go in and ask for funding for a study for ghosts. That's not what's going to happen. I think that our phenomenon will be explained.
I think that's possible. Yeah, that's possible. They may accidentally tap into, who knows what. One of your theories that you like. You like those string theories and, parallel,
That stuff's fascinating, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, in my opinion,
I can't visualize it, but yes.
Well, that's what makes it so cool, is that some of those concepts are like so advanced and ridiculous that our little chimp monkey brains can't even wrap it.
And I've seen videos of space-time being bent. I can't wrap my mind around that. That space being a material that can be, bent.
I'm always watching YouTube videos about, like, our advancements.
Can we air grievances about YouTube on this podcast?
I don't see why not. I don't think they're going to show up at your door.
Because motherfuckers.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that was going to happen. Like, I kind of had a feeling that something like that was going to happen. I don't think that it's completely, like, hopeless.
Well,
so our video that we were going to put up got struck down.
Not one of our investigation videos. This is that thing we talked about separately where we said, you know what we ought to do? We ought to all get together. We ought to all get in front of a TV and watch some of these paranormal shows and just kind of do a Mystery Science Theater style roast of that show as it's going. And that's what we did. We got together and we did that. We did that on an episode of Mountain Monsters, and we did that on an episode of Ghost Adventures when they were here at Pythian Castle. We did 2 separate ones.
And Tyler did an excellent job putting this together, too.
Oh, he's been working his ass off on piecing this together and interjecting, the actual show with our comments and everything, and he got it all put together and went to post it on YouTube, and it got flagged as a copyright infringement
immediately,
right away. Yeah, right away.
It's from automated copyright claim. It's completely automated, so YouTube will put copyright claims on material that they automatically pick up as
well. Here even on Facebook, whenever you post anything of any video or reel or whatever the fuck they call it, anything you post, the first scan you see it do is a copyright scan. It does a copyright scan to make sure all of the audio and pictures included in there are royalty free or owned by you.
There is a way on YouTube to request a manual review.
I don't think there is anymore.
Well, it depends on what kind of strike it was. Like if if you're trying to monetize, you see a little yellow dollar symbol next to your video,
right?
That means that it was blocked due to it not following.
Well, what pisses me off is,
but I don't think you monetized it. So I think yours is a community guideline strike.
But that's
a copyright claim, is what it is. It's not a copyright strike.
No, it's not a strike against the channel. But what pisses me off is that we took the time to not only get together and do this, and we had some fucking good ones. I mean, some of our stuff, that I remember, that we said during the show was fucking hilarious.
At the very least, if all else fails, we can host it on our own website.
Well, I know, but you can't really, develop a following on that style of video that way. No. We wanted to put it on YouTube because I guarantee people like me who when I'm bored or when I want background noise
exactly
at home,
I
put on Mystery Science Theater.
If I saw Mountain Monsters review pop up, I'd click that.
Fuck yeah, and that's what pisses me off is like these other YouTubers I watch, like Danny Gonzalez and nameless others. Danny Gonzalez does an actual review of Mountain Monsters on his channel. He does a review of Mountain Monsters on his channel where most of the video is the show and him voiceover. It's like they're showing a hell of a lot more clips than we did.
Some companies are a lot more strict about it than others, and Mountain Monsters is owned by Discovery.
Well, I know, but he used Mountain Monsters.
And they're cunts. I don't know how.
The thing is, I sat in a deal. I've told these guys this. I sat in a meeting about 10 years ago, and this was a bunch of broadcast attorneys talking about this sort of thing. And they said the problem is the entire thing is the wild, wild west, because you will go online and you will see one YouTube video that uses tons and tons of different clips or whatever, and it passed by with no problem at all. So you think, okay, well, that's going to be great. You spend all this time, you put all this effort into it, and you load one, and it gets flagged, and yours gets flagged, because they said there really was not a set standard. If you do this, you're okay.
There's not, and it's completely up to YouTube. Like, well, actually, it's really more up to the original copyright holder.
That's what they said. It's all in like what they're going to allow and not allow.
What we did is 100% legal free use.
It's done on YouTube all over the fucking place. But it's like you were talking about, the channel you watch that had the Incredible Hulk.
Yes,
I mean, sure.
They never. The channel I was talking about, for people who don't know, is a guy who comes in and reviews old television shows. And what he will do is he will talk about episodes of The Incredible Hulk. He never uses any of his own video. He's never not showing episodes out of this. Now, he's talking about stuff that's happening on the TV show and Lou Ferrigno used this type of paint and blah, blah. That kind of thing is what he does. But it's all that other TV show. Well, 100%.
Tyler and I love this channel called Red Letter Media, and all they do is watch a movie.
Yeah.
It's the exact same format we did.
Well,
then they'll show clips of the movie, and they'll be talking over it, and then they'll show their reaction, sitting there watching it, and it's just kind of cutting back and forth. That's kind of the format.
What I did would 100% hold up in court, but do any of you guys have money to hire a lawyer? Because I don't.
That's the problem. Is
I don't have $100,000.
It comes down to when do you stop fucking with it?
Well, see, and that's the broadcast attorneys came in and said you could do it. One guy gets away with it. The next guy behind doesn't, and then you do the exact same thing on another video another time, it flies. You think you found the magic potion and you haven't.
I'm just going to push the envelope this time. I'm going to take it all the way to the end and see if I can request a manual review, because it is 100% legal.
Not to just pick on Danny Gonzalez, because I like his channel, I like his brand of humor, I like what he does. He does what we were attempting to do there. But he will have listeners, viewers, subscribers, message him and say, "Hey, and this is an example I gave earlier, do Ratatouille, the movie, do a roast of it," and he will. That's fucking Disney, isn't it, or Pixar? I mean, whatever. Yeah. I'm just saying, these are big. He already did it. It's been up there for 3 years.
Jesus Christ. See, these bigger channels have more leniency because they can get manual reviews quicker, but no-name channels with like 5 subscribers like ours that just started, we're not getting any leniency at all.
And it also comes. This is where those attorneys came back to, and they described it as the wild, wild west. And what happens out there.
If the fear is that someone is gonna see our review and click on it, wanting to watch Mountain Monsters, and I would argue if you're wanting to watch Mountain Monsters, unironically, you need a psych evaluation.
Well, I watched Mountain Monsters. Well, I think I told you the process that I went through when I watched Mountain Monsters. But anyway, I'm not going to go back into that. I watched that for the entertainment value only.
I said what I said.
Well, I'm just saying, when I first watched it, I'm going to go into this now really quickly. When I first watched Mountain Monsters, I don't even remember what episode it was, but I remember that, anybody who's watched more than one episode, they show these trail cam pictures, and I was like, oh my God, what the fuck would that be? I can't even imagine what the fuck that would be. And I told Andrew, my son, I was like, you got to watch this show. You're not going to believe the picture of this, whatever the fuck it was. What was that wolf called? I don't remember. Whatever.
Well, I've seen this episode about 55 times.
It wasn't that one, but it's I know you have.
From beginning to fucking end. It's the
dire wolf.
Yeah, no, it is a dire wolf, but it has a name like the smoke or whatever something cat. Something cat. Either way, whatever the fuck it is. But anyway, it only took me a second episode to realize. Hang on a second, no fucking way.
I really don't want to give up on it because I feel like we're setting on gold here. The stuff I watched was hilarious. And I'm not just tooting our own horn here.
No, I know. We're funny as hell.
It was funny.
The Black Wolf.
The Black, is that what it was called? The Black Wolf?
This clip I watched was...
Did you ever watch The Woman of the Woods?
Yeah,
that's the one we watched.
That's right.
What was your moment when you realized?
Did we ever watch The Woman in the Woods?
I've seen all these episodes. I've seen all these episodes.
What was the moment that the light came on for you?
Well, I can tell you the exact moment that the light came on for me, and then I began investigating a little deeper. Was the moment when they were all these fucking hillbillies were in an abandoned shed, and they were. You could hear the Bigfoot. You could hear the Stonish giant. Out there banging on the walls. But not only do you hear it, but you see this big furry hand reaching, when a dog digs out of its pen and leaves a hole under there was one of those there, and he's like reaching under it with his hand. And I was like, wait a fucking minute. And I backed it up and looked. I was like, there's no fucking way. And then at that point I realized, okay, this is a show, just a show, not even a paranormal show like Ghost Adventures or Bigfoot Expedition or anything like that. They're acting. And then I noticed at the very end, because at the very beginning of the show, what happened?
He looked at me like it took you a long time.
No. When the episode you guys watch is way into it. When you watch the first couple,
it's more subdued, and
the pictures are real quick. And it's maybe a thermal.
They're trying harder to be authentic.
It's just like Weekly World News. When it first started, it was like, that's fucking weird. But then as it goes on, it's like, oh Jesus, that's the same thing with this show. Yeah, this show started out. Everything was subtle. There was a hint of a furry back, in a picture blurry, that's how it started. When you guys jumped in and watched it is when it had gotten beyond ridiculous already. That's why I wanted to start there.
Did you guys get to watch the first cut? Did you all get to see it?
Yes. The clip you sent, I watched, but then you sent a link, and whenever I click on it, it said video was removed.
Yeah, but
I wasn't able to watch that.
If you sign in.
Oh, if I signed in, I could have watched it.
The account, you can see.
I didn't do that.
I didn't
did do that, but you didn't watch the whole thing.
No, I didn't watch it.
I didn't realize I could. I will do that.
I will do it. I just haven't yet.
I didn't even think it through. But yeah, I can do that. I can log into the account and watch it. I know it's good, and watching it's not going to help. It's going to piss me off even more because everything we've done is within the parameters of copyright laws on YouTube.
There has to be because, like I said, that channel that I love, my favorite channel, Red Letter Media. They get struck. They get strikes all the time. They've talked about it and how frustrating it is. And there's some kind of remediation they go through where they get it through. Now again, they are a large channel. like the millions of subscribers.
Yeah, everything we listen to or watch, every song, every production music, transitions, everything that all these sound effects, they're all coded with a copyright code. And if we were to use one of those on hell, even this podcast, it would get flagged. That's why even the music that we use, Tyler has made. So we try to be real careful to stay within the parameters of all the copyright stuff. Everything that we post or on the website or anywhere we own.
Well, but the copyright thing is not like, for instance, there was an episode of the Golden Girls that let me expect that. Let me give you an example because my wife was watching this and they go to dance to this song that's on here, and then all of a sudden, if you watched it on NBC originally, they're playing this song. And as they're dancing, they're talking. When you watch it on the stream, when they talk, it sounds like this. I can't believe that. They removed the song because they did not have the rights to play this song on the stream, but they had the rights to play it on the TV. Original NBC.
I hate the world we live in.
Yeah, let's talk about copyright law real quick.
I'm going to promise you that NBC has better lawyers than we have.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I promise. And if NBC couldn't do it, NBC on their Peacock app, they could not run that song back.
Just in general, it's stupid as hell.
Well, let me tell you this, and I think I've told this story on this podcast before. On the side, I do graphic design stuff, logos and whatever. And everybody was saying, if you print me one of those shirts, you could sell those. So I thought, fuck, I might as well. I started an Etsy store. I put a lot of these shirts on. One day, I was sat around and I drew a picture of. I was just thinking, what would be some. And I drew Underdog. Okay, I drew this picture of Underdog on my iPad, and then I saved it. I printed it on a T-shirt, and I put that everything else on my store I had made. But I thought, I remember I used to draw Underdog all the fucking time.
Yeah, you taught me how. I still remember how you start with the 6.
Start with the 6, yes. So anyway, my Underdog drawing is more advanced now. I put this one shirt on my Etsy store, and I swear to God, it didn't take 3 fucking days for me to get a letter in the mail from Etsy. I was like, what the fuck would this be? And I opened it up, and it's a cease and desist letter from Marvel. It is a cease and desist letter from fucking Marvel. With Marvel letterhead on top. And I was like, what the fuck did I do for Marvel? I don't even have anything on my store for Marvel. Well, guess what? Yes, I fucking do. Underdog. I had no idea Underdog was in the Marvel universe. I didn't even fucking think about it. When I drew it, put it on a shirt, and put it up there.
Did they reference what it was that you were violating?
They put not only a picture of it on there, but they put the item number, and it had to be removed that fucking day. The day I opened the letter, it had to be removed. Otherwise, they would go to the next step. Now, anytime you go to Etsy and look, so I did it. I was like, motherfuck, what the fuck? This is a 3-page letter from Marvel. So I took it off right away, and I had to do something once it was taken off to prove to them that it was taken off. I don't remember what the hell that was, but whatever it was, I did it. But anyway, if you go to Etsy and look, because I remember after that, I was thinking, well, fuck, I know for a fact that I've gone on there and looked at Spider-Man shirts myself.
All Etsy is.
That's all it is.
Third party.
So why did look, I had like 12 items on my store.
It's because this is that Wild Wild West thing. It's they pop yours, but the next guy, another Underdog guy, didn't get caught, so he's okay.
It's the same thing as people who try to put streams of a TV show and then stream it online. It's like, look, yeah, they could spend all this time and effort and money making that person take down the stream. Guess what? There's 500 more behind it.
It depends. You come back in and look at things, and people are like, well, how did the NBC get away with playing the song? I'll tell you how they got away with it. They pay BMI and ASCAP rights.
Well, I was going to say, one of the jobs I used to do whenever I worked in radio in the evening, in the daytime I worked in radio, at night I worked for this side company where my job was to go through. I did 17 radio stations per night. And we'll take like Los Angeles. Somewhere in Los Angeles, there is a recorder that goes off every 3 seconds. That it goes off every 2 minutes, and it records for 3 seconds. My job was to go through all that audio, all those 3-second recordings, and identify what it is. Not only the song, but if I identified a song in a commercial, I had to identify that as well. And then you take all that information and you ship it off, and that's used. I didn't even think about what it was used for.
That's now done with AI.
Oh, yeah, that's done. It's completely automated nowadays, but it used to be done by humans.
Well, I'll tell you this. I haven't paid for cable TV in 25 years, and I've never missed a baseball game or a football game.
I
wanted
know.
to watch.
No, I'm sailing the high seas.
And if you want to ask how, send me a private message, and I will give you a list of 30 websites that you can watch this stuff on. They're wasting their fucking time.
Yeah, they really are.
It's stupid.
But if they can knock down the big boys and make it to where it's difficult for it.
They're not knocking down the big boys,
yeah, now they're knocking down people who are following the fucking law.
Yeah.
But I'm just telling you, that's what they're going to do.
I mean, my Etsy store is one of the smallest. I just started it. You know, like I said, I had like 12 or 13 items on there. There's Etsy stores you can go to where it's just full of, you know, all their main fucking Marvel characters.
Guys, I've sunk like it's absolutely been over 80 hours. Absolutely. Easily. Since we filmed that and me working on it this entire time.
Right.
Manually attenuating audio, cutting everything,
Yep.
pasting it all together, leveling everything, color correction.
It's the Wild Wild West.
And like I'm almost full blown anarchist at this point.
Well, we made sure whenever we recorded it, and you made sure when you were putting it together that everything we did was according to you know the guidelines set forth to make sure we're within our rights to do that. It's just fucking annoying that after having done all that work and making sure that everything was done, you know, the way it should have been done, that now they're saying, well, you know, we don't think we're going to let you do that, but we're going to let this other motherfucker show the whole 2.5 hour long Ratatouille on his channel, and just with a little square of him in the corner occasionally saying shit about it. That's what's fucking annoying.
The Hulk guy never shows up.
Well, no, sometimes it's all voiceover. Sometimes it's all voiceover, and the imagery you see for the whole time is, you know, the copyrighted piece.
See, that technically
That's not transformative.
not fair use.
Right.
Well, he's going to argue it is because he talks over the whole thing, and he does. I mean, he talks over the.
Can you hear the original audio at any point?
Oh, yeah, all
then
the way
that's not
through it.
transformative. You could put that movie on, you could put that video on, and watch the actual movie, albeit with a few auditory interruptions. But you could watch the entire movie like that. With ours, you can't even watch a third of the episode.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
With a few clips of the show interspersed.
Well, my entire point was this guy is much more in violation than we are, but
Right.
he got away with it.
And if anything, us, you know, if someone's never seen Mountain Monsters before and then they see the video of us doing that,
They're
if
gonna watch
anything,
it.
it's going to make you watch the fucking thing.
That's what the other thing I was going to say.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm going to come by and say the exact opposite. Don't watch that bullshit. It's fucking terrible. It's not worth the time. It's not worth any money paid to Discovery, and fuck Discovery.
The same thing could be said about Underdog. Somebody who saw that might be like, oh, that looks kind of cool. Let me see what that is.
Well,
And then
I know.
They got a new fan.
I kind of understand with the Underdog example. I kind of get it. That is a blatant violation that I didn't even think about whenever I did it.
But yours was Overdog.
Well, no. And you know what? I didn't even have, you know, it didn't even say Underdog. It was just a picture of Underdog flying, you know, with the red suit and the white U on his chest. Anyway.
Well, they're wasting their time, is what I was saying. Because I'm going to continue to watch baseball and football games, and I will continue to pay them no money. So
anything you want to watch, you can watch. You know, I mean, it's just fucking ridiculous. Anyway, we spent that whole podcast talking about copyright law. So we do have an investigation. We've got, I was going to tell you guys, I forgot too. We had Debbie on the podcast. Was that before Christmas? I don't even remember.
Yes.
Debbie is the owner, the homeowner of that house in Willard that I would say, you know, most people would call demonic. The one that we went to years ago. And then she popped back up, you know, in the fall and wanted us to come to her new house. So after I sent you guys that message when we were talking about doing her investigation, and I told her we would come in February, I sent her a message that moment so I wouldn't forget. And I said, hey, just wanted to remind you we're going to come in February if that's okay. And she said, well, it's probably going to have to be after February because we are moving.
What?
Now, they're not moving because of paranormal activity. They're moving because of a misunderstanding or something to do with...
How are we going to go to the house?
Well, we're going to go to... It's not the house.
We're going to move to her. We're going to go to
her
new
new
house.
house. We're going to go to the new... They've already got a new house. And they're going to be moving into that new house at the end of February, beginning of March. She said, when we move into this new house, she's like, don't worry. This shit will not stop. Just come to the... It's not even a brand new structure. It's just it's a new place to them. They're moving into a different house at the end of February, beginning of March. She said, can we just plan it after that? Because everything between now and then is going to be us packing and moving. So I said, yeah, that would be fine. Because they've done this before. They moved from Willard to Springfield. We investigated that house, and it had the same shit, you know, happening there. So we can at least, you know, test that retest that theory is if it's following her or the house. We already know the answer. But so anyway, we're gonna do that. It's gonna be pushed a little later. But we do have a home investigation that's coming up really soon. Hopefully next weekend, if the ice storm that looks like might be coming cooperates and doesn't. That's the guest we were gonna have on earlier. She has a home. She has lots of activity. She has lots of video, interior and exterior, that she's recorded, that she sent that I can share. But she's had a lot of stuff happening. I've been talking to her since probably beginning of November. I told her, I was like, between November 1st and the end of the year, it's going to be pretty freaking tough. So she waited till after we were all through the holidays and everything. She's like, now can you come? It's like, yeah, we can come now. So we're going to go do that home investigation. We'll get video of all that. So at least our videos of our investigations are free and clear. That shit's ours. If they flag that shit, I'm burning YouTube down. So we'll have that coming up soon too. So I guess we'll come back next week.
We'll be back with more Dark Matter next week from Pythian Castle in Springfield, Missouri with Midwest Ghost Hunters.